welcome back. I'm Jana with Purl Together. We're going to have a little chat today. I realize it's been a minute since we've touched base. I did the daily vlogging with Anne in December, got a little tired, a little burned out, and we've had some knit nights. I've posted some little YouTube shorts on the channel, but it's time now to get back into the groove of doing some knit alongs and some technique videos, and just let's have a chat about that. So in a moment, I'm going to talk about what our next knit along is going to be and how you can join, and the, prize possibilities and things like that. And also, I want to give a great big thank you to a whole bunch of new patrons that have joined in the last little while. So I didn't do any of the patron thank yous in December when we had our daily vlog with Anne. And so we've had a whole bunch of new patrons join us, and for that, I'm so grateful. So I'm just going to do this in segments because there's been a whole bunch. So today, I want to thank the first several people on the list, and then we'll thank some more next time and so forth. So a big shout out to people that have joined over at patreon.com/Purl Together in recent weeks. Mary, Alicia, Sharon, Constance, Janora, Rhonda, Candy, Diane, Ben, Lauren, Sandra, Judy, and Amanda. Deborah, Audra, Pamela, Jennifer, and Linda. Thank you so much for helping to support the channel. That's how we are able to just keep going and keep making videos. Whoops. Okay. This is Mariah. She's coming to interrupt your scheduled programming here. I've been gone all morning, and so she's a little needy. She's a big girl. You haven't seen her before. You've seen James and you see Peanut, but she is my daughter's cat, and my daughter went back to college after winter break, and so she's a little needy. She does this business, and it's like, ooh, yeah, she's not declawed. Anyway, Mariah and I would thank you for your support and for helping to keep these videos coming to you each and every week. Mostly each and every week. I did take a little break. So thank you so much for that. If you're interested in joining the patron family and helping to support the channel, you can head over to www.patreon.com/Purl Together. And I have several different tiers of monthly pledges and rewards that go along with each of those tiers. And I want to talk about that for a second. One of our patrons had a brilliant idea, fantastic idea. At the $15 a month level, you can attend knit nights on occasion where we log in through Zoom and we visit and we share our projects and share our triumphs and failures. And it's a lot of fun to just hang out for a couple hours. And we do this 2 or 3 times a month. So the lower level patrons that are pledging a smaller dollar amount aren't usually invited to knit nights because that's a perk of the higher levels. However, shout out to Connie. She had a really good idea that once a month we should draw a couple of people, at least one, maybe more than one, of the Merino level patrons, which is $5 a month, and invite them to join us for knit night so they can see how much fun it is. I think that's a brilliant idea. So I would really like to do that. So if you're interested, you need to first sign up as a patron at the $5 level at least. And then I'm going to draw a couple of people each month to join us at knit night. Yeah. So you can try out, basically you can try out a perk of being a higher level patron. So I thought that was a really great idea. Thanks, Connie, for the suggestion. We're going to do that. If you're already a $5 patron, you're already entered in, and you just need to go over to patreon.com/Purl Together, log in with your current account, and then you can see I post. It's like there's a page and I can post, and then you can get more information about that. So I thought that was a great idea. Okay. Our next knit along is going to be all about scraps and minis, Scraptastic. There's a lot of patterns out right now for using scraps and minis, and I just love that idea. Crystal over at Factory Girl Design just released a DK cowl that uses minis and scraps, so that's fun. I'll put a link to that down below. As you know, well, you may not know, Ambah O'Brien has a whole bunch of patterns that can be used with minis from Advent kits, either fingering or DK. So that's really cool. I'm going to show you what I'm working on. A couple things. This does not require a full mini. These are 7 or 8 grams a piece. And I'm making these teeny weeny little socks. Aren't they cute? Because I'm going to make like a garland, right? I'm going to hang them all up and make my little decorative lineup of little teeny socks. So these are 7 or 8 grams a piece. I'm going to write this pattern and put it up on Ravelry. So watch for that. Watch my social media. I'll let you know when it's live. It'll be a free pattern on Ravelry for how I'm making these. I think that's fun. I am making, the other thing I'm working on right now is I am making another Radvent throw. This is a pattern from Ambah O'Brien. Her Radvent throw is a pattern that uses minis. I'm making mine out of fingering minis, and you knit 24 of these squares. Isn't that lovely? And then you assemble them into it's a roughly like 4 by maybe 50 inches by 60 or so little lap throw. Mine's going to be a little bit bigger. I have made my square slightly bigger than the pattern recommended by just adding a couple of rows using the established pattern. So I have several of these already. Now, I'm doing this for a charity. And you'll learn, I'm going to talk a lot about this in the coming weeks. You'll learn more about this. So what I'm doing is using an Advent kit that I ordered last year. So I have 24 minis, and then I have a coordinating skein. Actually, I'll show it to you. It's from Grenouille. I don't know how to say that. It's frog in French. So someone else can help me. This is the main color. I have a whole bunch of minis in these box that I'm knitting the Afghan out of. Then I'm going to raffle it off for charity. I have recently become an advocate and become a volunteer for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, the local Wyoming chapter. And so as a fundraiser to sponsor me for a campus walk that I'm doing in April, I'm going to sell raffle tickets for this Afghan. But you don't know what it looks like yet, so I don't expect you to buy raffle tickets until you know what it looks like. But if these colors are your jam, then, kind of think about that and just watch my Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. And you'll see more about that as I continue to knit. But the point here is it's a really great pattern for minis. It's a fantastic way to learn to knit some lace and to use up some minis that you might have from an Advent kit, or you could knit it all in a solid color and that would look amazing also. So watch for details about the knit along. We'll start now. Why not? We'll start now. It'll run till the end of March. I have a whole bunch of patterns that I'll put down below in the video description and also in the Ravelry group that you can just suggestions. The only requirements for this knit along is that you're using scraps or minis, because that's the idea, is to knit from scratch, use up some leftovers, some little tidbits. I once made the Musselburgh hat with leftovers, like 4-gram tidbits. And here's why I did that, is each one of these that I knit, each one of these squares turned out to be about 15 or 16 grams. So then I had all these little minis left over. Here's my egg carton. And I had all these little minis to use, all these little tiny ones. So now I'm going to probably make another Musselburgh. And the reason that's cool for little teeny bits like this is because you're knitting it one way and you fold it up inside itself. You don't have to weave in any ends. You just tie it together in a square knot, fold it all up inside itself, and you're good to go. Shazam. I loved it. So I'm saving. I know it's an 18 pack. I'm going to have to get another one because I'm going to have 24 little tidbits. But there you go. My muscle, and I'm putting them in order. So in the same way that you would read a knitting pattern, color number 1 is on the bottom right. Okay. But I have to do this, otherwise the cats will, I'll never find the little 5-gram balls, never see them again. So head over to the Ravelry group or click the description down below for my idea for a bunch of patterns. Like I said, I'm going to be putting this up as a free pattern on Ravelry if you want to know how I made these. There's also a nifty little pattern that I recently found. You make a whole bunch of these tiny little diamonds and then you put polyfill inside there or wool. And then you close it up and it makes these little poofy diamonds. Then you sew the diamonds together for like a chair pad or a kitty butt mat. I might make one for like here because the cats like to hang out up here. Or a window seat maybe, or in your car. Wouldn't that be lovely for the seat in your car? You could make a diamond shaped, you could make it rectangle, you could make it square or oval. Anyway, I'll put, yeah, I might do a tutorial for this as well. So these are some ideas I have coming up. I would love to hear your comments. If you have suggestions for tutorials using scraps or minis that you would like to see a technique tutorial on, drop me a comment down below and let me know what that is. If you have suggestions for what we might do later in the spring, something you want to learn, let me know. I'm all for suggestions. So I'm excited about that. The other still blanket Afghan thing that I have going on is this one. I showed this earlier in the year or last winter. Still working on this for my sister. This is worsted weight. Each one of these takes about 2/3 of a skein of worsted weight. This is Malabrigo Rios, and I think each hank is about 200 plus, a little over 200 yards. So I can get 3 squares out of 2 skeins of that, I think. Anyway, I'm only on like number 6, and I am going to make 12. So yeah, I got to carry on with that. Right. But that's not a deadline. This is kind of more of a deadline because it's for the Out of the Darkness walk, which is going to be happening at the University of Wyoming campus. There's Out of the Darkness walks all over the country. So I'll put a link down below if you're interested in walking to support suicide prevention, or you are just interested in learning more about what's going on in your state with that. So that's what this is for. And if you want to get in on how you might win my Radvent throw when it's done, just keep watching. I'll post when I'm done. I have to keep knitting. Knit, knit, knit. Must knit faster. Sometimes I get annoyed that I have to sleep because I could just knit and watch shows. All right. Thanks so much for being here. Thank you to the patrons who have joined recently. All the links are down below in the video description, and I will see you next week with the tutorial for these. So watch for that. Okay, I'll see you next time. Happy knitting.